Hi there, and welcome to this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. I'm your host, Dave Dubeau, and for this week we've got three segments for you. We've got a guest expert who's going to be talking to us a little bit about business breakthroughs, and that's one of our recent MIB graduates, Melanie Kinch, who is one of the few people I know who's actually made a good go of it at network marketing. So she's going to share some of her secrets from that. For our real estate tips, I'm going to go over the multiple offer strategy, what that means. And for our mindset minute, I'm going to show you how to never underestimate your unfair advantage. Stay tuned. Hi there, everyone. This is David Dubeau with Canadian Profits TV, and I've got with me Melanie Kinch. Melanie, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
Excellent. Well, Melanie is just wrapping up our Massive Implementation Bootcamp. And Melanie's very, very special for many reasons. But one of the reasons is she's one of the few people that I know who has made a full-time living from multi-level marketing. So it's a very, very hard business to crack into and make a living at. She's done it. And Melanie, I'd like you to share with us what have been some of your biggest lessons from that industry that you're applying in your real estate investing or in your life in general.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. I guess one of the biggest things that I learned is, well, there's lots, but it gave me a safe place to understand how to be a businesswoman, right?
Okay.
As opposed to working for someone. I had to all of a sudden be accountable for my actions, and I had to follow up, and I had to, learn different things. So that was really big for me, and I'm seeing that I can take that perfectly and transfer it into the real estate investing business. The other thing I really understood was the power of a team and that support, which again I'm seeing over and over again in this business. I learned how to listen to people, how to ask lots of questions, which again is very transferable. And just to take, not do busy work, but to take real action.
I see. So in multi-level marketing, you're talking about creating a team. You had to create teams underneath you, right?
Absolutely.
Of people that are working.
And train them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that transfers directly to what you're doing with real estate.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right, so today for our real estate tip, I'm going to be talking about the multiple, you can read that, offer strategy. So what is this? Well, this is a way for you to be able to close a lot more deals, especially when you're dealing with for sale by owner property sellers. So if you're dealing directly with the seller, what do I see happening most of the time? Well, most of us, when we're being trained as quote unquote creative real estate investors, or even if we're buying properties for our long-term buy and hold portfolio, our initial offer tends to be just one. It's like a take it or leave it low ball offer. So what's the problem with that? Well, typically, especially if you're kind of following some of the American systems where you want to be offering 60, maximum 70% of after repaired value on a property, well, first of all, you're going to insult a hell of a lot of people. They just aren't that motivated to sell. So you're going to have, it's one of those numbers thing where you just have to make hundreds of offers before you're going to actually get one seller who's desperate enough to accept your really low ball offer. So low ball offers, it's one of these yes or no scenarios. So what I like to do instead is I like to give the seller a variety of different offers at the same time. So instead of just a low ball offer, I give them multiple offers. So one of the offers might revolve around debt relief. So we offer them something that can solve debt relief and still get a decent price on the property. We can even have one offer where we offer over market value. That's another offer we can have there. We actually have another offer where it's basically a no risk offer for a slight discount. And what is the advantage of making multiple offers? Well, the huge advantage is that instead of going from a yes or a no decision with your prospective seller, you're giving them a variety of offers, and their mindset goes from yes or no to which one do I choose? Which one serves me best? So you got to put yourself in the seller's foot, in the seller's place, this is like a kid in a candy store. This is like being able to pick and choose which offer you like best. It's like having multiple offers coming in at the same time, because you are having multiple offers coming in at the same time, but they're all for me as the real estate investor. So what does this translate to you as a real estate investor? When you learn how to do multiple offers, you are able to close on more deals. And if you close on more deals, you grow your portfolio faster and you make more money. So this is one of the things that we're going to be talking about in the Creative Profits Club. This is going to be actually coming up in this week's Creative Profits Club webinar. You can find out all about becoming a Creative Profits Club member at creativeprofitsclub.com. So that's your real estate tip for this week. Okay, and for today's Mindset Minute, I want to talk to you about something very, very important that came up at our recent Massive Implementation Bootcamp, which we just had last week here in Kamloops. And one of the things I asked the students there was to tell me what they thought their unfair advantage is. And all of them had a real challenge coming up with that. And I think this is kind of a Canadian thing. We're really taught to be very modest and humble, and we don't like to blow our own horns. But when it comes to real estate investing or business in general or life in general, you have to recognize what your strengths are and give yourself credit for those as well. So it doesn't really matter what it is. So for example, one of my unfair advantages when it comes to creative real estate investing is the fact that I really do know where people who don't qualify for a mortgage come from, because I was in that exact same position when I moved my family and I back to Canada in 2003. I had very little money, no credit, no job. I was self-employed, and basically the banks laughed me out of their offices when I went in and asked for a mortgage, very naively. So I know exactly how that feels. So I can I can tap into that feeling when I'm dealing with my prospective clients, and they can really feel that as well. So what is it that you have? What is it that you bring to the table when it comes to your real estate investing endeavors or your business endeavors that is your unfair advantage? It could mean many, many different things. It could be something that you've experienced in your own life. It could be a particular talent that you have, for example, in sales or marketing, or as some of our people recognize, they have a real talent with connecting with people. So the gift of the gab, or just being able to network, well, that's a huge, huge advantage. So recognize what yours are, write them out, don't be shy about them, don't be modest about them, own them, and really recognize what makes you unique and different. That's your Mindset Minute for this week. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. What do we got coming up? Well, like I said, we just wrapped up our Massive Implementation Bootcamp last week. We've got the launch of the brand new Creative Profits Club. If you haven't checked that out, you can watch the replay of the training webinar I put on last week, the 3 biggest mistakes I see Canadian real estate investors making time after time. And that's at creativeprofitsclub.com. And also, just a reminder, this week we're going to be having our Creative Profits Club monthly webinar. It's going to be all about the multiple offer strategy. Check it out, and I'll talk to you next week.